Okay. What are we going to predict? Give that a like as well. You know, if you're feeling fruity, give that a little like. We've already seen the race suits. In fact, we can see them right there. So, I will say this. There's no black on the race suits, which doesn't mean there's not going to be any hints of carbon on the actual car. There was rumours that there's going to be a lot more yellow on the car. We'll see. We'll certainly see. Oh, no, you've got a meeting. It's fine. You'll see it afterwards. Imagine they have invented white carbon. Red and... Do you know what? You joke, Jimmy, but it might very well be red and black. I think there'll be... I think there will be a white and yellow pinstripe. I think that's exactly right, Rich. I think that's what it's going to be. There's going to be some sort of pinstripe design ensemble down the side of the car. I think that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a weird year for Carlos Sainz, though, isn't it? You've got Carlos, who now knows he's been replaced. And that has to be a little bit weird. No, not necessarily, Tom. I mean, Ferrari over the years, obviously they've been predominantly red, but they have had a lot of yellow, because yellow's in their badge. It's, you know, the Ferrari badge is yellow. They've had yellow versions of their cars. So it's not, I'm not saying it's not linked in with Shell, but the Ferrari badge has always been yellow, though, hasn't it? We'll see. What's up with your car, Jimmy? Have you lost your car? What's been wrong with your car? I don't know if they're going to have a shakedown like they did last year. Remember last year they got the car on track at Maranello straight away. Was it Maranello? I don't know. Jimmy got done by the police. Did they take your car, Jimmy? What's happened? Talk to me. Thank you, everyone that's joined on YouTube as well. I appreciate you. If you haven't liked the video, then why not? It's literally it's free. You don't have to just hit the button. What's interesting, and I like this, the reveal is at 10, but Ferrari is starting it at 2 minutes to, presumably with a 2-minute countdown, rather than starting it at 10 with a 2-minute countdown. Now, I appreciate that, Ferrari, if that's what you've done. Your car got defected. What was the problem, Jimmy? Why have they doshed your car off you? I meant 11, sorry, not 10. They're starting it at 2 minutes to 11, not 2 minutes to 10. We haven't gone back in time. But if we had gone back in time, I would have stopped myself from having this conversation. But it's too late for that now. Is Jimmy some sort of boy racer? Have Ferrari got any... Oh, this was the fire up. Since when is that a thing, Jimmy? Your car was too low. Since when is that a thing? Like, high performance cars are really low. I don't understand.
From the very beginning, our racing DNA has surged through everything we do, combining our passion and drive for innovation. We audaciously redefine the limits of possible, conquering racetracks and roads all over the earth. Fire speeds up our engines. Wind shapes our designs. Yet both can propel us forward. A hunger to set benchmarks and break records. Our sights fixed on new horizons. Taking the race where we never have before. This isn't just what we do. It's who we are.
The Ferrari movie's the one with Kylo Ren, isn't it? Well, that is true, Frank, yeah. I am somewhat of a time traveler. Oh my god, what is this Ferrari? I have not seen this. The KC-23. Oh my word. Yeah, but the Ferrari movie's the one with that terrible CGI crash, isn't it? The one that we were talking about. Wasn't it? It was this crash here, look. This is the Ferrari movie. Come on, guys. You can't take this serious. How are you going to take this serious with a physics crash like this? What? Like... Come on. It's not real, is it? Come on. Oh, it's Jim Bob. Yeah, I love Jim Bob's car. I've seen the car. It's absolutely most ridiculous. I don't know why anyone's passed that. In the editing office and stuff, someone's gone, yeah, this looks fine. Anyway. Ferrari. La Ferrari. Bellissimo. Italian. It's a sexy language. A broken cat's eye thing. A broken cat's eye isn't going to propel a car, though, to the top of a telegraph pole, is it, Tom? It's just absolutely bonkers. They didn't need to do that, I think. Because it's a... like a biographical movie. They didn't need to put some ridiculous accident scene in it. Like, I don't know why they did that. Yeah, but Tom, it didn't. You saw the physics. The car went in the air, and then it carried on rising. That's not real. I don't know why they've done that absurd CGI, but they did. Anyway, honestly, that's why I couldn't watch the movie. I saw that scene and I was like, no, I'm not watching this. I'm like, I can't take that movie seriously if this is what they're putting in it. Like, I couldn't take it serious, so I just didn't watch it. Premiere will begin shortly. Yes, it will. I'll keep refreshing. Hey, I believe you, Jimmy. I believe you. We should get on Twitters as well. Well, maybe it was improved for the movie, Tom. I don't know. It's possible. It's going to be a countdown for 2 minutes anyway, presumably. Yeah, there you go. Countdown jobber. I'm going to mute it for now. Jimmy, you've gone mad. But I like it. You've gone mad in a good way. Oh, that's interesting. Ron is saying that they probably did the physics wang because Granddaddy Ferrari had a story that insists the car went 30 feet in the air. So it's possible that because of that story, they've had to do it like that because he insisted that's what happened. But when you see the actual physics of it, you realise that obviously isn't what happened. Well, that's true, Tag, but this time they started the premiere 2 minutes early so that the countdown was 2 minutes before 11 o'clock, rather than starting it on 11, then having a 2 minute countdown. Now that I can appreciate. So, prepare yourselves. It's going to be like a little presentation stuff first, presumably. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing.
Charles Leclerc, he wins in Monza! Carlos Sainz, the winner of the Singapore Grand Prix!
La vittoria più importante è quella che devo ancora conseguire. Bisogna prima
Oh, Christ, they just showed it off straight away. No messing about. Oh, it's painted, boys. I'm liking the yellow accents. I'm liking it. There is some carbon on it, but it's not as much as other cars. Oh, do you know what? I like it. I like the yellow pinstripes. I like that. I like that. I think they've actually put the carbon in some nice places. It's got colour on the wings. I like the way that they've mixed the red on the front wing where the front wing joins here. They've put a red flap and then the rest is black. And then there's carbon inside their sort of downwash. I really like what they've done there. I think that's nice. I like the way that the yellow and white stripes go around the rear of the car. I think that's really nice. I think it looks really nice. Now, I already see something really interesting with the halo here. This is very intricate in and around the halo. Have you seen this? Like, the halo is kind of attached. This is their old halo. You see? The halo was attached to the top of the airbox. But the halo link here is actually attached via some sort of external wing. It's like it's got like a fin instead. That's really interesting. These here are the camera points. These are all camera points. So this is where it used to go into the top of the car. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it actually jettisons in. So maybe it actually goes in there and it's not load bearing, but this is actually just extended off. You're probably right, yeah. Very interesting, though. I wouldn't say that, again, we don't know if this is the actual car that is going to hit the track. Probably not. This is probably a basic version of that car. Because this doesn't look anywhere near as detailed as, like, the Red Bull. Not the Red Bull, like, you know, the Alpine, Aston Martin that we've seen. The gully is definitely significantly different, isn't it? It doesn't look as detailed as I would expect. So I think this is definitely an early version, just a concept. I kind of like this checkered look. What do you think of how it looks? I think it looks really nice. I mean, I like the way that they've sort of accented the red with the black and the pinstripes. I think it's nice. They've still got this gully, but it starts really far back, doesn't it? Like the side pods are here, and this starts really far back. Yeah, it looks nice. Will it be fast though? Well, that's the question, isn't it?
Apparently you were doing something right, Captain.
That's the question. Thanks, Pidge. Yeah, they've got some things, very interesting things going on with the Halo. Let's see if they've added any detailed pictures to their social media. It's just a video at the minute, no pictures. Pictures will appear now, though, as press get their hands on them. These are just stills from the video. Let's go back to the rear view. I like the fact that this was no nonsense, by the way. It was just a digital launch that went straight into it. Here's a little bit of history, a tiny amount. Here's the car. Done. Love that. So here you can actually see it a little bit better from this angle as well. As you said, someone said this, these aren't load bearing. The halo goes into the, you know, into the top of the engine cover underneath the air intake. That'll be the load bearing element, but there is a fin coming off this. So exactly what it is in terms of the within the rules of what you can have on, I don't know, but they presumably they are allowed. Trucker. Yeah, I mean, obviously the biggest thing for Ferrari is tyre deg. They were always quick in over one lap in qualifying, but they struggled in the race compared to Red Bull. But what I'm seeing on this car so far isn't that the side pod area doesn't look as advanced as other cars, which makes me think this is a very early version. And I think the side pod area and the barge board area, because this is just a render, will be a lot further along in the car that we see hit the track. 100%. 100%. This will be just a very early version of this render. It'll be far further along when it actually hits Bahrain. Guaranteed. Do you know what, though? Someone pointed this out, right? and I don't know if you agree, sometimes when people are showing off their car renders, you've got some teams that have like a really realistic render of their car, and then other teams that have it and it's a bit cartoony. This is actually a decent render. Obviously, yes, it's a render, but you know, it's a realistic looking render at least. I like the new numbers. That's nice. I'm sure someone will tell me if that front and rear suspension has changed. I always get confused over pull rod and push rod. You can see here where the airbox comes down, and then you can see this little fin here where the halo is. I wouldn't read too much into the floor, and I wouldn't read too much into the rear area around the diffuser, because this is a render. They're not gonna show off what they don't need to. The sponsors on the side have changed though. Peroni's now taken a bit more center stage, isn't it? And Shell's obviously always been there, and Ray-Ban for a long time, but I think Peroni's one of their new partners, isn't it? No, there's still plenty of distance. If you look at all the teams side by side, what they've shown off, there's still... I think to the naked eye, they'll look quite similar, but when you actually look at them, if you saw them side by side, there'd be quite a big difference. Quite a detailed area, this. Lewis Hamilton's probably there now in his Monaco home just going, Because the interesting thing for Lewis is, if Mercedes are quick this year and he can win races, brilliant. But if Ferrari are winning races, then he's also like, brilliant. Because he's going there next year. So if Ferrari are terrible this year, but Mercedes are winning, he might be like, oh, at least Mercedes are winning. But if Mercedes aren't and Ferrari are, I think he'll be like, well, this is brilliant. Because if they're both not winning, then well, that's a whole other problem, isn't it? I really like that. I do really like it. I like the way that the carbon, which is obviously acting as the black, merges in to the red and the pinstripe. I think it looks really nice. I like the red wheel covers actually as well. I think it's a nice looking car. Like I say, I'm very confident that this whole side pod area will look a little bit different when we see this car do its shakedown. But I like it. I like it. I would go as far as to say this is the best looking livery so far. Would you agree? There's only one real part of it that I don't like. I think the white Ferrari is a little bit squished onto this rear flap, isn't it? Other than that, that's a small complaint. I think it's the best looking livery for sure. For sure. I do like the way that where the nose comes onto the front wing here, they've just got these two red flat. It looks nice. Yeah, it does look a bit boxy behind the front wheels, but like I said, I around the rear wheels, I do think that this is just... I wouldn't read too much into it, to be honest, because I think you'll find that when the car actually, like I say, hits testing, I think this whole area will be more defined. I was talking about this earlier. When Aston Martin showed off their renders and then they hit the track for their shakedown in Silverstone, the whole side pod area was massively different. When it's a render like this, teams don't need to show off everything, and the renders will tend to be a little bit behind what's going on in the factory anyway. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this front intake and the side pod look very different. when it does its shakedown and its test, to be honest. So I'm not really too concerned with that. But that was literally it. That was all they did. And you know what? Do you know what? I'm not even against it. I'm not against it at all. They just, they didn't mess about. Every area of the car has been redesigned. I mean, you can see that there is a substantial undercut here, like you can see. Matt Gallagher, he doesn't like the livery. Oh, okay. I really like it. I think it looks really nice. Oh, you can still see the S stuck there, look. See? A little duct. Oh, he wants a proper. I don't disagree with him there. I would, like, for instance, Ferrari had a proper launch last year. I would rather a proper launch for sure. But I do like the fact that the video wasn't just 20 minutes of nothing before they showed off the car. So I'm not against that. Yeah. I like it. I like it. I like it. Looks good. I think it looks nice from the front as well. A lot of these liveries that we've seen so far don't actually look very nice from the front, but some angles they look nice. Well, I also look for the old rule breaking, Ron, but the truth of the matter is that until we see their real cars on track, you can never really judge what teams have found. Because for instance, if Ferrari had found some little thing, they're not going to share it, in a render. You could see here, though, their downwash gully is nothing like the concept that they had last year. Very different.
New subscription received.
Obviously, it's a lot more uniform with what some of the other teams are doing.
How did I miss that?
Thank you for the prime very much, Ron. Tasty. Save that. That's a thumbnail, that, mate. I'm really excited. I'm honestly really excited for the season ahead. And maybe that makes me a fool. Maybe that makes me a fool, but, I am excited for it. It's a smart looking car, that. It's a smart looking car. I don't know if this HCL software is a new one. Quite a lot of partners squished in to the Ferrari, though, isn't there? Like, you've obviously got Shell V-Power, which is fine because you've got the Shell logo. But then you've got HCL now on the front wing. And then you've got Peroni, Siva, Santander, and Ray-Ban, and Shell all on the side pods. VDW are on the barge boards. Then Santander are on the side of the wings and the engine cover. There's actually a lot of sponsors. They're a little bit like McLaren, really. Who just have a lot of sponsors these days. The Aston Martin was interesting because it looked a lot like the pictures, but just more refined. It was a lot more refined. I don't know if some better pictures here. more high quality. It's yeah, certainly something. Yeah, Genesis. This is quite smart. Look, they've got the Peroni at the front here, turned around, so that when you're on the TV camera, you can see the Peroni branding, which not everyone thinks of. They've even put some branding on the suspension. What the hell? Who's Ecopol? You don't see that very often. They've got a sponsorship on the suspension on the suspension arm. Okay. Fair enough. Really hammering home this branding on this Ferrari. Yeah. Beyond that, there's not much else to say because, like I say, the floor, the side part, this will all be different when the car actually breaks ground. So there isn't too much to say other beyond how it looks, but I like it. I like it a lot.
Hadouken!
Russ, thank you for the YouTube sub, my man. Oh, the antenna. Yeah. Can you imagine if Carlos Sainz beat Charles Leclerc this year? That would be something, wouldn't it? I mean, I don't necessarily see it happening, but that would be something. No, that's not going to happen. See, I think it looks really nice from that angle. Suspension arms look really horizontal, though. Or is that just me? I think that's just me. I think they've always been that way. No, that's a gauge, Tom. They put a little thing in the tire to check the tire depth. The rubber depth. I don't know why you'd have that on a render, mind you. Fine. Why not, you know? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that would be after the tire's been used rather than before. Oh, it looks nice. It looks nice from that angle, doesn't it? You can't really see these stripes from the other angle, but there's some pinstriping on the rear wing as well. Oh, I like the look of it from there. There is still a black element on the halo, but I like the fact that the halo predominantly, at least from the other angle, is red now. It just blends in with the car a lot more. Well, I mean, they could have a sponsor right up here. There's all this. They've crammed all these sponsors into this area here. Like, you know, in the carbon, they always have these down here. And then there's, you know, huge area up here for sponsors. Well, it's more due to the fact that area will have a different level of sponsor for more money. Whereas the smaller ones, it's easier to get one for one of the smaller blocks, right? Whereas the other one would be a much more different situation. Just put Lewis Hamilton's face on the engine cover of Carlos Sainz's car so that Carlos Sainz always knows that Lewis Hamilton is right behind him, coming for his job. Looks good, though. Looks good. It's nice. The triangle. Hit me with it. Which triangle? You mean the triangle air intake? Well, it certainly is. It certainly is very triangular. I'm sure it was triangular on last year's car, though, no? Ferraris has always been quite triangular, I think. I could be wrong, though. Wasn't it triangular last year? Yeah, it was triangular last year. If that's what you mean. Although they had these winglets on the air intake last year, they don't seem to have them now. I mean, these definitely will be doing something. As to what, you'd need someone with far more intelligence than I to tell you. But they will be directing airflow in some way. A lot of detailing around the halo here, but as to how much difference that actually makes, well, I'm not sure. I mean, it would have been so clever if you were. You imagine if you were Lewis and he said, if you said you just had, because the thing is, Ferrari used to be sponsored by Mission. What was it called? It was the Marlboro's Mission Winnow. Was it Winnow? Yeah, Mission Winnow, which is Marlboro's like sponsorship thing. So they've missed a trick there because Lewis Hamilton's charity is Mission 44. So they could have had Mission 44 on the engine cover. Lewis Hamilton pays them to sponsor the engine cover. That would have been brilliant. That would have been hilarious, wouldn't it? But only on Carlos Sainz's car. Only on Carlos Sainz's car, not on Charles Leclerc's. Yeah, there we have it. The Ferrari launch. Top tier. Yeah, happy with that. Listen, pre-season testing's next week, guys, so we don't have long to wait to see the actual cars out on track. You know, and like I say, I'm pretty sure the Ferrari will look a little bit different when we see it next week. So I'm looking forward to that. Right. For those of you that's joined on YouTube, I do appreciate it. There's quite a lot of you over there. I very much appreciate it. Why not hit that like? Hit that sub button. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. For my YouTube family, we will be back tomorrow, first thing in the morning, for the Mercedes launch. McLaren is tomorrow as well, but we don't know the time yet. So join then. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate you joining me. And goodbye, YouTube. I will see you tomorrow.